Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Again, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so another presentation on another project we're doing at Internet Society, which is of great benefit to the region, which we're going to talk about, internet exchange points. Before I start, how many are familiar with the term IXP, Internet Exchange Point? 1, 2, 3. Okay. How many are not familiar with IXP? Either you know or you don't know. You cannot have your hand down both times. So 2 questions. But anyway, so IXP is slightly different from ISP, from Internet Service Provider. So your Internet Service Provider is whoever you're using to get online, whether it's on your mobile phone or your laptop or whatever device you're using to get on the internet. IXP is slightly different. An IXP is a building, a central location where different internet service providers come to connect to each other in order to keep traffic in a country local. It's a very important facility on the internet. So as ISOC, we have, hope that's better. As ISOC, we have a number of projects which we support or lead in terms of getting IXPs, more IXPs in the African region. So that animation there just shows you how all of us here are, if you're in a country with an IXP, you are somehow passing traffic through that, accessing that is something that is local in that country. So the diagram there, you see 4 ISPs in blue, 4 different ISPs. They all connect to a local or a central internet exchange point, and the traffic there is local. And a simple way to, thanks, is better. So a simple way to understand IXP is just like an airport. If we are going to fly to another country, we'll all go to a central location where all the airplanes park, and we can all exchange and board different planes. Or when you get to one country and you want to go to another country, you just change from that same location. And that's the same way to think about an IXP, Internet Exchange Point. So IXPs are very critical to a country, and especially in improving the speeds and also the efficiency and reducing the costs. So the chart that you see there at the bottom, I was just checking what are the number of IXPs in South Africa. South Africa is leading the way in the number of local internet exchange points in the country. I think the number there is 13. And you can go to the Pulse website, and you can get a very similar chart for your country. You can check how many internet exchange points are in your country. So IXPs are very important because they reduce costs for us to get online, and they also significantly improve the efficiency of the internet. It means instead of accessing content that would be otherwise outside the country, if that content is in the country, we can access that content in a very fast way. So as ISOC, we engage in a number of activities to promote the establishment of internet exchange points. I'm going to go through them here. We work with several partners who are also in the room, and we thank you all for that collaboration. And if you're in a country where more IXPs are needed, there are a number of resources that are available, and there are a number of ways you can contribute to having an IXP in your country. If you're a policymaker, IXPs, yes, they're technical infrastructure, but it does require a lot of policy support to make sure that there's an encouraging environment to support the establishment of IXP. So if you're a policymaker in the room, you also have an important role in making sure that any barriers to the establishment of an IXP are out of the way, and IXPs can be set up and thrive. So we do a lot of work with partners in the region. I think yesterday you all heard about the Coalition for Digital Africa. Those are some of the partners we work with in the African region to promote the IXP work we're doing. In Asia Pacific, APNIC Foundation and APIX are other partners we work with in that region. And if you're in the Latin American region, we work with LAC-IX and LACNIC to promote or encourage more IXPs or strengthen IXPs that are there as well. Now, if you're in this meeting or following us online and you're in a country where there's no IXP or you need assistance to set up an IXP, there is a grant program available from ISOC. You can apply there. You'll get support. You can get support in the form of equipment. IXP is all about equipment, so you can get support in the form of equipment or other kinds of support to help you in establishing an IXP in your country. So a related project that we're doing that's sort of quite attached to the IXP project is the 50-50 vision. Now, as I mentioned, IXPs play a very important role in keeping traffic local in a country. They are actually critical infrastructure, and they also have a lot of economic benefits. We did do a study 2012, I believe, and we studied two economies, Nigeria and Kenya, to assess the impact of IXPs. And it was found out that IXPs help not only localize content, of course, but have a very big benefit in terms of cost savings to a country. So if you go to the ISOC website, I'm sure you can find that study there. So what we are trying to establish is how much traffic remains local in a country, how much traffic is exchanged within a country and not cross-border or leaving that country in a sort of inefficient manner. So we have a project which we call 50-50, in which we believe the 50-50 or a ratio of 50% of local traffic and 50% of non-local traffic is sort of a good target point to have in order to ensure local traffic is kept local in a country and the internet is as efficient as possible. So there are a number of activities there for technical communities, also policymakers, and org members. There are various roles you can play there. We are doing right now what we call a number of measurements to actually determine when you're in your home country and you browse a local website, let's say, for example, an e-government website or a social media website. Are you accessing it in that country, or is it perhaps leaving your country? You have to take a long round trip outside the globe. And we believe with those measurements, we can significantly have improvements in terms of how efficient connectivity in a country is. So that's what we're calling the 50-50 vision. So you cannot improve what you cannot measure. So right now we are at the measurement phase of this activity of 50-50. You can all play a role, which I'm going to describe. But right now we do need to increase the number of measurements that we have available in the African region. So there are a number of devices you can plug into your network in terms of probes that can help us really identify in your country when you're accessing a video, when you're playing a video of a social media site or a content data network site. Did you access that video that was hosted in your country, or was it perhaps outside Africa? If it's outside Africa or outside your country, it means perhaps you've paid more for that. Perhaps it was a very slow experience for you. And that's something that should be improved. And that's what the 50-50 vision is about. So we do need your help. I'll share you can go to the internetsociety.org website and find more information about how you can participate. But in order to have very accurate measurements, you have to increase the number of measurements you're carrying out. You need to have what we call more vantage points. A vantage point is just how one side of the network is seen from another side of the network. And the only way you can have more vantage points is by having more and more measurement devices available on the internet. So a measurement device that I'm describing is a very small device. One, I think, was discussed here by Leah from RIPE. And she mentioned the RIPE Atlas probes. That's one of the devices we are looking at now and trying to encourage more people to use or deploy RIPE Atlas probes. And we're also exploring other devices that you can quickly deploy in your network, turn them on. They don't do anything else on the network. They just carry out simple measurements. They determine how fast is your access from your home network to certain internet infrastructure on the internet. And we can then get the data from that device and then plot a very accurate picture of your internet experience. So you can join. There are a couple of URLs there. You can join, you can sign up and get more information about how you can contribute, how you can host these devices, and how you can help increase your internet experience and experience in the region. So a number of resources available. We do have a number of trainings. I think I mentioned them in the previous session. You can access trainings on how to design network. So we have trainings aimed at very young engineers who are just getting into the space. It teaches them, how do you design a network? How do you connect one device to another device? How do you, if you want to connect 50 computers, what do you do? How do you crimp the cables? How do you design the IP addresses and so on? So we have courses that start from that level of a very young or entry-level novice engineer, all the way to a higher level, more advanced engineer, where we talk about IXPs, and also the project I talked about earlier on mutually agreed norms for routing security. So you can go to internetsociety.org/learning. All these courses are available at least in 2 languages, English, French, and some of them also in Spanish. Peering forums are excellent places also to understand more about peering and understand how well your country or your region is doing in terms of keeping traffic local in your country. The big event in Africa is called AFPIF, African Peering and Interconnection Forum. It was in Accra, Ghana, in August, at the end of August. That meeting brings together a number of internet service providers, content data networks, policymakers, telcos, to come and talk about how we can improve the internet in Africa. There are a number of peering events there as well. I've put the ZA peering forum there at the bottom because I just got an invite today. I don't know if the person who sent the invite is here, but there's a ZA peering forum that's going to be here in 16th November. Very important forum. If you're interested in learning about the peering infrastructure in South Africa, if you're a local here, it's a very nice event to attend. Also, we can't do all this without our partners in this engagement of improving connectivity locally in the country, in Africa. Meta and ICANN, thank you very much for the support and collaboration. And I think this was covered yesterday, Coalition for Digital Africa, as one of the activities we engaged in. So I think I'll stop here. A number of URLs I've shared, they'll be on the slides, but you can find everything on the ISOC website, internetsociety.org. So I'll stop here. There'll be another presentation on IXPs next as well from my colleague Gilan. And I'll be around for any questions.
Thank you, and let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, the next presentation is coming from Ghislain.